So let's implement the two functions that we are calling here. Actually, I'm going to get rid of my navigation. I'm not going to use that. Instead, we are going to write a private func show login view. And this is basically going to instantiate our login view. So we say let login view is equals to UI storyboard, and we're going to initialize with a name main. Bundle nil, and then instantiate view controller with identifier, and our identifier is going to be login view. And then we want to present it, so we say self.present, and we're going to present our login view animated through completion nil. And in show login view, I have typo there, so we just call show login view function. And let's write the function to go to the profile, which is private func go to edit profile. And this function is going to call a segue, which we are going to put in our storyboard, another view controller, that every time our user clicks on it, it will take us into a new view where we can edit our details of our user. So for now, I'm going to just say print edit profile. And let's call it here. I'll say go to edit profile view. So let's rerun our application. Okay, I see the problem. Actually, I'm passing a wrong button here. Instead of passing my edit bar button outlet, I'm passing this default edit button. That's why it was changing the style to edit our table view. Let me just quickly rerun, and this function wasn't being called at all. Now when we click edit, it goes to edit profile, which is what our code has. And then show login view is not available right now because our user is already logged in. So let's write the last piece for this class. We are going to check onBoarding status. So under my helpers here, I'm going to write the function. So we say private func, and this is going to be check onBoarding status. And this function will be called with our check login status. So we say check onBoarding status as well in our view did appear. And what we need to do here, again, we are going to check if our current user is nil or no. So we say if muser.current user is not equals to nil. And then we have our else statement. In case if our user is nil, we are going to say finish registration button outlet, and we're going to change the title, set title, change the title into logout, because we want to give our option, our user an option to not log out, sorry, it should be logged out, option to see that the status of the user, so it will show that our user is logged out currently, and for the state is going to be .normal. And then we are going to disable the button, so we say finish registration button outlet dot is enabled is equals to false, and purchase history button outlet is enabled is equals to false as well. So if our user is nil, then our buttons are disabled and the title is going to show that we are logged out. And if our user is logged in, we are going to check the onboarding status. So we say if user current user, and we can unwrap this because we just checked it's not nil, and we say onboard, so it means our onboarding has finished, else it means the onboarding haven't finished. So if it has finished, we are going to say finish registration outlet dot set title is going to be account is active for state dot normal, and then we are going to enable the button. So we say finish registration button outlet is enabled is equals to false, because if our user has finished his registration, which means completing the onboarding part, then we no longer need to show this button. And let's copy these two lines and put them in else statement, but here we are going to change the title into finish registration for state normal, and then the button is going to be enabled true, and finish registration button outlet dot tint color is going to be equal to red, so it dot red, so that it grabs our user attention that he is still pending to finish his profile. So let's run and see how it works. Now you can see the user we have now, we have logged in, but we haven't finished our registration. So the onboarding is not done. And when our user comes to our profile, you can see that we have to do one more thing. We have to finish our registration, which means we have to input our name, surname, and full address in order to be able to get our deliveries. And the purchase history button is enabled because our user is logged in, but the finish registration wasn't completed. And we have edit button, which just prints out the status now.